We don't do all the fluff here. If you want to get to know the speakers more, their bios and how to follow them are in the digital playbook. But we do have Heidi Furlong, who is a cabbie stylist, team leader, and she owns Heidi Signature Style, and she's also with the Sister Rack, which is a company with her and her sister. Then we have Kim Lubs, who I've known for over 10 years, a great friend of mine. She is, first of all, thank you for being here, because she has been in my life and taught me how to age gracefully. And then my business partner, see, I'm crying.
You weren't gonna cry today.
Who I told her that the last 2 years of her life, she is the poster child of aging gracefully in person, emotionally, spiritually. So later on, I'm gonna make you cry because we have a lot to talk about later.
Boy.
Yes. So we're gonna get started. I know you guys have kind of prepped a little bit, but Heidi, ready? All right. So why do you think it's essential for women to invest in themselves before expecting others to invest in them? And what are some practical ways to do that?
So if you don't invest in yourself, others aren't going to invest in you. If you don't value yourself, others are not going to value you. So you need to take some time and effort and maybe some money into how you present yourself. So my fashion is my thing. So first impressions are very important. So just think about this past week, we had first day of school. So how many students out there were thinking about their first day of school outfit? And maybe that was you, first day of school or a job, or maybe you put some thought into your outfit today, that kind of thing. But the thing is that your first impression is important, but also every day. So you need to embrace it every single day. And I have clients all the time like, I bought that jacket and I don't know where to wear it. And if there's clients in the room, they know what I say. I say, to the grocery store. Because you're gonna meet new people there, you're building on those relationships. And then how do you decide what you're wearing? Is you really have to decide where you wanna be going, who you wanna become, and then do what she's doing, and then dress like she does.
Yes. Okay, so you said a lot of things there. Time, it takes time. I mean, I don't know anybody here that can get ready in 5 minutes and just be looking fabulous. And if you are there, please let us know. But time is important. Yes, maybe investment. And we didn't have anybody on panel today to talk about like sustainability and how you can. There's lots of great ways to shop afford. You can go thrifting, but there's so many different ways. But you have to take the time to do it. There is some education behind it. Some people were never taught how to style. Some people were never taught like what to wear, what colors to wear, even feeling comfortable in what they're wearing. I know a lot of times people say they go in their closet. Their closet is literally one of the last places they want to be in because they have clothes there from 5, 10, 15 years ago that they think they're going to get back into, versus just saying, I can give that all away and start fresh because you deserve to feel good inside and outside. So thank you for bringing that to the table, literally to the table. Kim, here we go. And Kim is a fitness coach. She's a strengthening mindset and fitness coach, and she's been doing this for over 20 years. So this is a huge Google, number one Google. Many women over 40 still feel that lifting weights, or fear that lifting weights will make them bulky. Okay, how do you help them shift with that mindset? Let's start there. And then we can go into health benefits and longevity with strength training.
Okay. I like to talk to women about how that's really physically and chemically toxic is bulky. So people who, and what bulky is one person figure out by reading it. Women don't have the right chemicals in their bodies to build that swim. So, you're looking at building muscle so that we can have a great quality of life and great longevity, and so that as we're aging, we're not only living longer, but the quality of our life in those years is great. We're able to get down on the floor with our grandkids. We're able to go upstairs and downstairs without knee problems or hip issues. We're able to pick something up off the floor and put it up on a shelf in a closet, or vice versa, take it off and bring it down. So without strength training, women lose 3% of muscle a year just living. So if you're not building muscle, you're losing muscle, and that means you're more susceptible to falls, broken bones, hurt joints, and just hard to get around, hard to manipulate and walk around in everyday life. So, yeah, I would just, first of all, talk to them that you don't have enough testosterone, especially if you're perimenopause or menopause. You certainly don't have enough testosterone to build muscle. So it's just, even men don't have enough testosterone to get bulky unless they're doing some kind of supplementation in the bodybuilding world, which they do. So
the second part of that question, and I think this is someone, especially people like me, know these a long time, like what are things that you can start from scratch that are
easy, that are safe, and an easier way to begin? Because I think people just, again, they think lifting weights is going to be bulky. I'm not going to a gym. So what do you tell your clients, or what do you suggest?
I think it's important if you want to start lifting weights to do it properly, because it's very easy to get injured, and just start slow. Even doing things that are body weight. There's so much you can find online, but it's not all great, So looking to someone that has some expertise in this world, but doing things that are body weight, like just think about some functional movement, like sitting down on a chair and getting up again, right? If I have to sit down on this chair and then get up again, if you did that 10 times, I'm doing a squat. That's what I'm doing, right? I'm not holding weight, but I'm using my own body weight. I'm lowering my own body weight, slow and controlled, keeping my core tight, and then I'm coming back up. It's such a functional movement. Like, some of my clients, after we do legs, will say, I'm doing this so I can get off the toilet when I'm 80, without the handicap bar, right?
That's real talk.
So it's
That's
real talk, right.
I don't want the bar. We don't want the bar. It doesn't look good in the bathroom.
Right. We don't want the handicap bar, right? It's not aesthetic.
No, it's not aesthetic.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, Yvette, we're going to talk about more of mindset and internal. So how can women use affirmations, meditation, and other inner practices to genuinely reprogram their thinking, support deep restorative sleep, which we talk about all the time, and enhance overall vitality?
Okay, I want to know how many people in the room have actually meditated or used affirmations, or have used affirmations? Okay, how many of you use them on a consistent basis? And how many of you feel like it is like your jam and like this, it really works and you love it? Yes. Okay. I want to speak to you because I've discovered something, and I also want to encourage people that may not know this about affirmations and meditation. But first of all, I want you to think of yourself, I know this is funny, as a paper towel roll, like it's empty, right? So imagine that long thing. We as women and people, we grow up, and what happens is we're that paper roll, and things are either coming through us, and you can feel it, or we're that paper roll, or things are coming at us and it just bounces off. For example, you can feel something go through you because you're having an emotion, good or bad, it doesn't matter, but you're like, oh, I feel that, that's great. When things come at you and you go, whoa, back up. Then it's the outside of your paper roll saying, I don't really like this, I don't really like how I feel in the moment. Over time, as a culture and as women in particular, I feel like we put up these buffers. We put up our our protection. We get numb. Maybe we go through traumas. Maybe things really hurt us, and we say to ourselves eventually, I don't want to be affected by anything. So when you start your meditations or you start the affirmations, which I think are incredible, and by the way, side note, meditation, doing meditations is not woo-woo. It's actual science. So I want to hit that because I come from a very religious background. That something in my head said, don't do that. That's anti what you've been taught in your religion to do a meditation. But it really is science. So what's happening and what I discovered is that as I have put on this protective barrier, I want to allow the meditation and the affirmations to come through me. But this is what I have to do, and this is, to me, I think, the golden secret. Pause in those moments. Because if you're just listening to a meditation in the background, sure, it's doing something to your subconscious, but in the instant that you listen to the one thing that went, oh, that really, like when I was reading the gratitude, I bet you there was something in there, especially maybe the one about family and community, that you're like, because it hit me. It's like in that moment, you grab onto it. And that's what you meditate on. you allow that to come into you, not through you, but you allow it to do something, whatever it's supposed to do. So over time, repetition, what you're doing is you're reworking that energy, you're reworking your frequency, and that's a whole nother level of science, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about it. But you're reworking that, so over time that repetition is changing maybe some of those reasons why you've put up the barriers and the boundaries, and now you're changing from the inside out, and you're allowing the goodness of our life that we live to come into you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. We're on round 2. We are doing fabulous. Okay, Heidi, number 2. Yes. Fashion gives us freedom to shift, explore, and express different versions of ourselves. But just like life, none of it is permanent. How can women use style as a tool to honor the season that they're in and celebrate their evolving beauty?
So fashion is fun, and fashion is always evolving. And fashion is really, what you wear is something that we actually can choose. There's a lot of things in life you can't choose, but that is something that you can choose. And the thing is that people see us before they hear us. So that, again, we were talking about first impressions. The problem that I see is that a lot of women dress for past seasons of themselves. So women gain weight, they lose weight, they get married, they get divorced, they're changing their career, all these different things. And you really need to dress in the current season that you're in. So having some pieces that really just are magical, right? So something that you just feel amazing in, you feel confident in, because I keep saying that the better you look, the better you feel, the better relationships you have. So fashion isn't really just shallow. It's a strategy. It really is a strategy.
I love that. And I also think you and I and Yvette have talked about this a lot, back to the being in the closet and looking at all the things that you used to wear. And it is back to taking the time and figuring out, where are you now? Again, you may work a 9 to 5 and have to dress a certain way for work, but then when you get off of work, on the weekends, when you're at home, I mean, we all remember during COVID, we were just like dressing up for Zooms from top up, but then we just got into like, I don't even want to dress anymore. And I remember, I think we were doing podcasts every single week, and I would get ready for that podcast during COVID and coming out of COVID. And I said, I need to get dressed every day. I need to take a shower. I need to, do my hair, do my makeup, because as we were coming out of COVID, we were doing things. And I'm like, you always want to feel ready. Because how many times has someone like texted you and you actually have time to go have lunch with someone, and then you're like, oh my God, what am I going to wear? What am I going to do? So it is a tool, but it's also something that you have talked about, we have talked about, that take the time. It's fun. Fashion is fun. Like you said, you get to choose it. There is no right or wrong. You guys have seen Yvette and I. We are yin and yang, and we dress completely different. And I'm a zhuzher. I'm a zhuzh queen.
Unless I'm wearing my tie.
Get them from my mom. Marcia Burgess here. But it's fun because my mom's always been that way. She's always gotten ready. I mean, when we were growing up, I'm like, you're a stay-at-home mom, why are you getting ready? But that was for her. So just know that it's something you get to do in your time, but you have to make the time to do it. But it's not, fashion isn't vague. It's not just something that you see on social media. It's something that you can use for yourself to help build your confidence. Okay, Cameron, you ready?
I'm ready.
I secretly love you so much for doing this, but secretly we've been talking about this in the background. We're going to talk about GLP-1s. Everybody knows about GLP-1s medications. It's everywhere, and I want you to just talk a little bit about, this is a hot topic. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's actually on the rise, and there's so many ways of getting it now, but what are the risks of using GLP-1s without also focusing on mindset, nutrition, and consistency, and how do you see your clients use them as a tool rather than a quick fix?
It's a good question. I have a lot of clients that are on GLP-1s. Personally, I don't think all of those that are on it should be on it or were prescribed it properly. But it's important to know that a GLP-1 changes your brain's chemistry. It slows down digestion, and it turns off food noise. It's a chemical reaction. It doesn't teach you to address your relationship with food. It chemically does it for you. It's essentially the magic pill we've all been waiting for 50 years. I mean, let's be honest. So it's what can happen that can be negative is that your hunger hormone is turned off. I've experienced in doing this for a long time that most women don't eat enough, even if they're overweight. They're not eating enough, their hunger hormone has turned off, their metabolism has gone into famine mode, so it's burning at a very slow rate because you're not feeding it enough. So then you go on a GLP-1 and you eat even less, and then you do lose weight. Yes, because it's putting you in a calorie deficit. That's how it works. So you do lose weight, but you also lose muscle. So anytime you are in a weight loss phase, you're going to lose muscle and fat. The trick is how can I maintain or build muscle and have most of that weight loss come from fat? It's very hard to do, and it takes a lot of discipline and focus. So I am constantly teaching my clients to focus on how much they're eating and how much protein they're eating. Those two numbers are the top two numbers I want them to focus on. So I think GLP-1s are very helpful. I think for some people who have certain comorbidities, I think it's a risk-reward thing. You have to think, what are the risks and what are the reward? Is the reward greater than the risks? Then do it. Yeah, but I know there's a lot of controversy around this. I do believe, and I've heard doctors talk about that, it's a drug you have to stay on forever. Because think about it, if it's changing the chemistry of your brain, when you stop taking it, that food noise comes back, your hunger cues go up, and you start going back to old habits because you never addressed your relationship with food.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. And to get back to relationship, food, discipline, consistency, and time.
Yes.
You have to take time to build the roadmap. It takes time. And women get so frustrated with this. Oh, this is so time consuming to, weigh my food or to look at how much I'm eating. And I say to them, I said, anything that you want to get good at in life takes time and discipline. Do you want to be a disciplined person or not? What are you teaching your kids? You're teaching your kids to give in to every single whim that comes across their path. Watch whatever you want. Sleep however late you want. Go to bed whatever time you want. Eat whatever you want. And if we're teaching our children not to live that way, but to live disciplined, but we aren't willing to put the time in either, that contradicts itself. So, the girls talked about that last night.
Yeah.
With social media and phone noise.
Exactly.
Well, if I'm having my kids turn off their phones and social media, then mom and dad or parents need to do the same thing, because then what you're leading by example.
Correct. Anything that you want to get better at takes time and discipline and practice. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with your health, Yeah. I mean, in the workplace, it takes time, discipline, and practice. Everything in life takes time, discipline, practice.
I don't necessarily have a question, but I just want to throw this on the table. It's going to be a little bit disruptive. Because earlier you said muscle mass, we're losing 3%. Yeah. I'm just going to be honest. Sorry, that's who I am. I've noticed that when people are on the GLP-1, that's what I see they're losing.
Yes.
And so I get very concerned.
Yes.
Because I think, I know some people are doing it because of health reasons, and I get that, so I'm not trying to be judgy. What my heart says to me is, it's more of are they okay?
Right.
I'm more concerned because I see the loss in their muscle, their tone, and the shape of
They're fading away to nothing.
Yes. And so as a person, it's concerning to me.
So they need to be doing testing to check their bone density, because when they lose muscle, then they have a risk of going into osteopenia and osteoporosis. And that is a loss of bone density, means you have frail and fragile bones. You are very at risk for breakage and joint issues. So that is not where we want to be. It's like you become very fragile. So they're losing muscle because they're not lifting weights, they're not prioritizing protein, and they're not eating enough. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there prescribing GLP-1s for the wrong reason. I have clients who maybe just want to drop 20 pounds and they're given a GLP-1. I feel like that's very irresponsible I mean, hopefully that's not coming from a doctor, an MD, but sometimes it is. So some people are getting it online, they're microdosing it, very unsafe, it's not monitored, they're microdosing it themselves. They don't have the background or the knowledge to do that. And they're getting it from a med spa who is not trained, certified, or know anything about why these drugs were created in the first place for people who had diabetes, who are insulin resistant, for many other comorbidities that these drugs were meant to address, not 20 pounds.
Yeah, we didn't get to have a plastic surgeon on, Yvette and I do a lot of research on like the GLP-1s, and there is a new plastic surgery on the rise, which is the plastic surgery for the women on GLP-1s who are losing so much muscle in their face. And so now there's surgeons making money off of the drug because they lost weight so fast, especially in their neck and their face. And so I was reading a couple of articles, but next year our goal is to have a plastic surgeon on as well, because it's like, again, the risk and the reward. Then you lose too much weight, you're not healthy, you're not eating enough, and then you're only fixing the outside, you're not fixing the inside. And so how much that's just too much. And so that's what Yvette and I kind of talked about is.
I actually saw an ad on TV yesterday, and the whole thing was that, we've lowered the cost. I'm
right.
Like, oh.
Right, because that was the big thing initially.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's easier access, like anybody can do it. And I'm like, that scares me. Barely can remember to take my vitamins, much less have to do a shot every day. Okay, great job on time, guys. All right, Heidi, question number 3. I know this is perfect. I love having the timer here. What do you believe is holding women back when it comes to investing in their style and dressing as their true selves?
Their closet. So you were saying that. The biggest barrier that women have is their own closet. So an astounding statistic is that women only wear 20% of what's in their closet. So think about your own closet.
I don't want to.
80% that you don't wear.
I don't know where Gabrielle is, but I don't want to hear that later.
So it's not the number of pieces, it's the intentionality you have with that. And it kind of goes along with what we're talking about. So think about if you are going to go on a diet, or you've decided, I am going to eat healthy now, and you have a pantry filled with junk food, right? How's that going to go, right? You're going to be like, I'm just going to have a little snack over here. So it's the same in your closet, right? So if you have 80% of your closet that's accessories, shoes, clothing, all the things that are for your past self, women think they're going to fit in that another day. They have tags on something that they haven't worn it. So now you feel guilty about going out and investing time and money in pieces that really are going to fit you in your current state. So you really do need to clean out your closet. I'm not good at it. I am very emotionally attached to things in my closet. But I actually just did recently, and I get new clothes all the time, so I need to not have anything in my closet. But I took 5 minutes a day and took 5 pieces out. So it's like just little things like that. So actually in the digital program, I have a link if you want a little quick closet cleaning guide. It's in there. I can send it to you. And then I suggest that you phone a friend. Because if you are emotionally attached to certain things, someone else has a voice of reason that's like, no, you don't need that.
Oh, that would be so fun.
We've been there.
Yes.
I'm like, we're not wearing that.
Exactly.
We're not doing that.
That's what holds us back.
Yeah.
The guilt of, I have all this in my closet and I have to wear it. And no, you don't.
Yep.
It can go to a better home. And someone else that may need it is going to serve them better.
Perfect. I love that. Okay. 5 minutes a day. I like the 5 minutes a day, 5 pieces.
It's not a one-time
I'm
thing.
not looking at my mom or anything.
Not a one-time thing.
It's okay. Love you, Mom. Kim, again, another spicy one. When it comes to body confidence, what are the most common mindset blocks women face in feeling comfortable in their own skin, and how do you help them rewrite the story to tell themselves about their bodies as they age?
I think one thing that a lot of us who maybe were raised in the 70s or 80s and earlier were very controlled by the number on the scale. It's a very hard mindset to break, So I use a machine called an in-body machine. You step on this machine and it does give you your weight, but it gives you your skeletal muscle mass, your body fat mass in percentage and in pounds, and your visceral fat. It gives you other things like your hip to waist ratio, gives you your water retention and stuff like that. But I'm really teaching women that you need to be focused on your body fat percentage and your muscle mass. We want to see that muscle mass. We want to look at it over time. We want to see that muscle mass trending up. You'll have dips, like looking at a graph, you'll have dips, but you want to see that trending down, and you want to see the body fat percentage trending down. And you want your visceral fat, which is a measure of the fat internally around the organs in your thoracic region. This is a disease marker. You want that number under 10. So every week, we are on that scale and we're watching that graph change, but still, they are still looking at the weight. I tell them, we're not concerned about that. That doesn't define who you are. We have a number in our head. Everyone has a different number that was ingrained there, whether maybe you were on a sports team that told you you had to be under a certain weight, or your mother or your grandmother or your aunt or someone or some part of your culture ingrained a number in your head, and it's really damaging. And we need to just release that, because that does not define who I. For me personally, my own journey, I weigh more now than I did 10, 20 years ago, but my body fat is where it needs to be and my muscle mass is where it needs to be. But that scale is up 20 pounds. Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And you look fantastic.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, because you also need to realize, what does it, if you want to be this low number, let's talk about what it means and what it's going to take to get there. Getting there is not the hard part. Sustaining that, maintaining that, that's the hardest part. Do you understand what kind of restrictive lifestyle you have to live? How much you have to give up? Are you willing to live like that for a long time? Plus, living in a calorie deficit for a long time is not good for you hormonally. You should not be living in that world for a long time. Maybe 3 to 4 months tops, but it's still not good to stay in that mode. So if you're constantly under eating, hormonally, you are wrecking yourself. So that's something I had to take a look at. Like, yeah, for me to drop 20 pounds would be a lot of work. I would not be able to drink. I love wine. And I lived that lifestyle. It was very restrictive, and it was zero fun.
No fun.
Zero fun. I was not able to splurge on anything, but that's not balance. We want to live a balanced life and have a balanced mindset about this. That is obsessive. You can go obsessively either way on the spectrum, and that's being obsessive, and that's not healthy mentally.
Well, I love it. This is why you're here and talking about it. Thank you. I know you all make 50 look fabulous, by the way. I am also in a panel with 50 and up, and I think it's great because I feel amazing in my 40s. I've loved the last 3 years of my 40s, but I see all three of you, and then I see Nancy and Susan, who are behind me, who are also our sponsors. And they are sponsors because they fit in the health realm, and they also fit in the aging gracefully realm, and they have an amazing cooking show that they do, and they have an amazing YouTube channel that we have in the book, in the digital playbook. But it's fun. They make it so much fun. It's easy. I don't like to cook, but I can definitely cook what they do. And it's something that, again, it's the education and bringing, like, what can you be doing at home? A lot of the things that you said here, doing squats on your chair is free. Affirmations are free. Going through your closet and giving things away for every 5 minutes, it's free.
Every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes.
That's a lot. Don't go that crazy. For something else, we need to do that.
Every 5 minutes a day. Sorry. Got overboard. I went to the other two. Just throw everything away. Throw it all away. Okay, we're gonna do Yvette's last question, and then if you did anybody submit questions so I can look it up here? And okay, perfect. So we'll go through questions. So Yvette,
are you doing 2 or 3? Because you skipped.
I'm doing 3.
Okay, you
Did I
skipped 2.
skip 2?
It's okay. It's okay.
Just kidding.
No, it does. I just want to know which one you're doing.
Oh, let's do 3. Yeah? Okay. How do the media we consume, what we see on social platforms, the people we surround ourselves with, and the communities we engage in shape shape not only how we age, but also how we feel about the aging process.
We were kind of talking about this last night, which we had a beautiful panel of 4 young women, ages 23 to 25. And one of the resounding things that they said was that they're all getting off their phones. And mental health, realizing the damage that it does and what it does to us as women, and the comparison game. Social, I have a love-hate. By the way, Gio does all of our social media because I don't even like being on my phone. I'm sorry if I don't respond quickly, but I'm like, I don't like, and the algorithms pick up all the things, and it's all negative. And I'm fine. If I'm trying to push this away, why am I letting it in? But I've learned that everything we consume is our food. And obviously we consume food, but we're consuming energy food that comes into us, and we're consuming whatever it is that our 5 senses are picking up. So it's affecting us really poorly. And I think my algorithm really picked up on this whole aging gracefully thing, because lately the advertisements that come in, I don't know if you guys just saw Kris Jenner, which, listen, I do want to say this. It's not about judging what someone else does, because I firmly believe that every woman has the right to do with what she wants with her own body, how she sees fit. What I don't like about it is the message that social media is pushing in my face of, this is what you should be. No, that's what Kris wanted to be. Yay for Kris, and she's got millions of dollars to do and upkeep and all the things, right? But that's not what Yvette wants to do, and that's not who Yvette wants to be. So don't push this in my face. There's something that came up, I didn't even know it existed. Tallow?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is tallow? Right? But again, marketing, all of marketing, and there's social media gurus in here right now, all marketing does is stimulate something inside of you that says, you have to have this. You want this. You want to buy it. You want to take it. You want to be this person. All those things. It's crazy. And the other one lately, actually my partner brought this up to me because he knew what we were going to be talking about. He goes, do you know they have baby Botox? And yes, now hold on. At first I was like, babies! And of course I went to whole, like during COVID, the pizza, and like the Pizzagate, Hillary Clinton, all the weird things that were going on. I'm like, what? And he goes, no, basically what it is it's the younger generation. We're talking teenagers, baby people, baby people doing baby increments of Botox in their face or wherever the odds are on their body, already doing that. And I thought, that's because that's the power of social media, because you know what they're watching? This is who I need to be. Okay, so in my head, I go back and I go, ladies, the only way we can stop it, is to stop consuming it.
That's right.
And stop being victims, because we can be victims, and stop obsessing ourselves with someone else is telling us to do or be.
That's right.
Okay? And I just want to tell a quick story. Everybody knows I went gray. It took it was a whole year, years, I think 2.5 years to actually go gray. I'm going to be really real with you about going gray for anybody that wants to be in gray, because it's part of the social media, what you're told, what society is telling us about aging. When I had dark hair, listen, I'd go play, oh my God, you're so exotic, you're so beautiful, green eyes and all things, right? That feeds your ego. I'm not gonna lie, it makes you feel good. The minute I start going gray, crickets. No one said anything to me. No one said, oh my God, you're so exotic with your gray. And they do now, but I think it's because I got a wad of hair. But I went through this very internal, humbling experience. The value of who Yvette Valdenegro is not wrapped up in my hair color. It's not going to be wrapped up in wrinkles. It's not going to be wrapped up in cellulite on my legs. It's not going to be, did I do my nails? That has nothing to do with it. And over my journey in the past 2 to 3 years, I have reestablished a love for myself in a whole different way. And this is the beauty of And I want to tell my silver-haired women that want to eventually go on, don't listen to the lie that it doesn't affect you. It will. And I can tell you right now, I went, at that time when I started, 54 years of seeing myself in the mirror. 54 years of, there's Yvette. I'd pass once in a while, I'd go, oh, there's Sylvia, my mom. I would see my mom or my dad in the mirror, but I'd be like, there's Yvette. You start going gray, you change, you look different. So now my own eyes were telling me, you're not that's not you, because I didn't recognize myself in the mirror, which at first it was shocking. I didn't necessarily like it, but after I embraced it and I said, you know what, this is truly who you are. I'm telling you, it took a little bit, but now I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, yeah. I'm really glad I went through the process, and I'm happy. This is crazy. I'm happier now being in this flawless body with this gray hair than I ever did. You guys, have you ever done this? You go back and you look at pictures on Facebook and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, if I was only that weight, if I only looked like that again, blah, blah, blah. And I remember being that girl, that young person, and now I go, I wasn't happy then.
Right.
I was a mess. I was making stupid decisions. I wasn't the best mom. And I was really thin and I was spending 2 hours in the gym. Who cared? Because what was happening on the inside was a mess. And now, I think I'm not so much a mess, but I'm different on the outside, but I'm so much more grateful, thankful, and happy and healthier as a human being now than ever before. But don't listen to the media.
We're gonna do a quick fire because we did run out of time. We had all the time, now we ran out of it. One simple daily habit from each of you guys that you can give to the audience today based on what you do. So one simple of helping them with really aging gracefully.
Go to your closet, pick out something that you love and put that on every day. So if you wear something that you like every day, you're going to be more confident. And eventually maybe it'll turn into a whole outfit, but just start with one item every day. And if you're in there and there's something you put on that doesn't make you feel good, it doesn't fit you, put it in a pile and start the process of getting rid of it. Love it.
Love that.
And that's free.
Free.
Yeah. It probably is not what you think I'm going to say, but I think addressing your sleep and your nighttime routine is the beginning of everything, is the beginning of change. Because I know women who don't sleep well, and they need to address it. Once you start sleeping better and sleeping longer, uninterrupted, you feel so different, and then you're going to feel like getting up and working out.
Love it.
If you don't address the sleep, that affects everything.
Okay, I love, because what I was going to say piggybacks that. Before you go to sleep, let it go.
Yeah.
We as women hold on to so much, the stress, the pressure, all the things. Let it go. Release, forgive. We can't control what someone else does, what they say to us, but we can control ourselves and how we think. Just let it go. And that's where the meditations and the affirmations come in that whole process. Just completely, I think it just does something, and then you do wind up getting better sleep because your mind isn't processing 24/7. And a key thing in that too, Gio and I teach this, if there's something that just is irking you, bothering you, wish you could change, write it down, and then ask yourself, what is the opposite of that thing, that feeling, and meditate on that. Because to go to bed with the opposite thought that's telling you the negative thing, go to bed with the positive thought.
Love it. Okay, we did have 2 questions in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them. I think you can probably, this is for you, Heidi. Charities that you would donate to for like female supporting location. Do you know anyone like that we can donate our clothes to versus just like taking them to the thrift store? Do you have anyone that you?
There's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so just send me a message.
Okay, well we'll make sure. And then Natasha did ask a question, Natasha P, and I think you maybe can take this during the break, but good resources for workouts and diets for women and to take in for monthly hormone shifts. And we do have 2 hormonal specialists coming up later, so I think that's going to be full circle. But if you want to touch base with Natasha on just some great workouts and diets for women in hormonal shifts.
Yes, I will.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being on panel and opening up the collective.